In early 2019, it was one of the most talked about companies in the world. It was valued at $47 billion dollars, and investors were lining up for an IPO that was imminent. It felt unstoppable. And then it all came crashing down. We're at number 5 in the countdown of the top 10 strategy trap fails of all time. This is the story of WeWork. Now, creating flexible office spaces was a great and timely idea. Lots of companies were looking for agility instead of long-term leases, and WeWork tapped into a real shift in how people wanted to work. They were led by a charismatic founder, Adam Neumann, and they promised more than just desks and conference rooms. They promised community and energy, and even famously, to elevate the world's consciousness. Their vision was bold, but bold vision without discipline can be very fragile. As WeWork scaled, its ambition quickly outpaced its reality. The company took on, ironically, massive long-term lease obligations while it was chasing rapid short-term growth. Spending ballooned, side ventures multiplied faster than any company could manage. Growth became the goal, untethered from sustainability. When WeWork filed its S1 ahead of the IPO, the curtain lifted to reveal massive losses, no real governance, and a business built at a scale it simply could not sustain. And the story changed fast. In my book, The Strategy Trap, I introduce a system called the 6 C's that could have helped. They're the execution conditions needed to turn bold ideas into sustainable results. 2 of the C's matter most here. First, capacity. Capacity limits ambition to what an organization can actually sustain financially, operationally, and organizationally. At WeWork, expansion speed far exceeded reality. There was no discipline forcing hard questions like, can this model survive a downturn? Do we really need the fancy private jet? Capital masked the problem until it didn't. Second, coaching. Coaching creates the culture that makes capacity limits visible. Effective coaching builds psychological safety, invites challenges, especially when momentum is high. At WeWork, there wasn't much evidence of a culture that encouraged leaders to slow down and pressure test assumptions as the company scaled. Newman's confidence went unchecked. Action superseded judgment, and the capacity problem was allowed to grow until it was impossible to ignore. Charisma can fuel momentum, but momentum without capacity is dangerous. So ask yourself, do we have the discipline and the culture to match our ambition to reality before scale makes that impossible? I'm Kevin Ertell. If you want the full execution system, you'll find it in my book, The Strategy Trap. Pre-order links are at thestrategytrap.com. I'll see you next week for failure number 4, how a market leader had the future in its hands and still couldn't get its teams to work with each other.